Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go on an adventure. No, not an adventure. What's it say down there? We're empowering journeys. We're gonna go on a journey because I have here with me the Philiam FX1 e-bike. Philiam sent me this to review, and to do the review, we're gonna go on quite a ride. We're gonna go all the way to the north part of the city, go over the big bridge, come back down. Who knows what kind of adventure, or rather journey, we're gonna have. So anyway, let's get going. All right, folks, we are on the road, or on the multi-path lane anyway, cruising at 18 miles an hour. What is this thing? Is this an e-bike? Is this an e-motorcycle? You're not pedaling. I'm not pedaling, that's for sure. It's not a pedal bike, but it's also not a motorcycle. This bike weighs about 100 pounds, way more than a bicycle, but way less than a motorcycle. It has dual 1,000 watt motors, which is a lot of power, but it's only a couple horsepower, maybe 2.5 horsepower, way less than a motorcycle. I'm calling this an e-moped. That's what I'm calling it. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think this is. Is this an e-bike or an e-motorcycle? We're cruising now at 23 miles an hour, but this bike will go 35 miles an hour. I'll throw a clip in right now. Let's see how fast this thing can go. But to be honest, I don't really like going that fast on the bike. It just feels a little sketchy. And it also uses a lot more battery up. 24, 25, 28, whatever. That feels nice on this bike. I think that's a sweet spot. And actually, when you first get it from the factory, that's 28 miles an hour is the maximum speed. You have to go into the computer and override that to go faster. We're about in the middle of the city right now, so we're really eating these miles up fast on this bike. All right, that's better. Now we're going a little bit slower. I don't have to yell so much. I was losing my voice over there. We're at Titus Landings right now. This is, you know, I'll show it to you. We're doing a tour. Let me show you what it's like here at Titus Landings. We'll drive right through the middle. One thing I like about this already is the throttle. It has a lot of, this has some modulation, which is nice. Oops, we're going backwards here. But this is it. This is our little shopping center. Now that's a real motorcycle. Much bigger, much heavier, much more powerful. But we can probably squeeze through here. Yes. All right, we're right in the middle of the city right now. There's the Max Brewer Bridge way out there. I know you probably can't see it too good, but that's the one we're gonna go at least to the top. Maybe we'll just go, I think we'll just go over it completely. But we're getting close. We're getting pretty close now. Beautiful part of the city, beautiful old homes here. And I'm being good. I'm just riding nice and chill. No more than 20 miles an hour through here. Is this has dual motors, so we have a motor on the front wheel and the back wheel, and you can switch it between rear wheel drive or all wheel drive with just this button. And I'm going to put the clip in now if I didn't already put it in the video, but it rips on dual motor mode. I mean, you have 1,000 watts is a lot, but just double it and that's what it feels like. You get 2,000 watts. I don't really need it though right now. All right, here's the big challenge. That's Max Brewer Bridge right there. It's a pretty big bridge. It's the biggest climb in this city. And we're gonna try to see if we can get up there. I'm sure we can get up there, but let's see how much we struggle or don't struggle. We're in single motor mode. We'll see if we can do it with single motor. We may have to go into dual. I'm just gonna go like 20, 25 miles an hour. There's 25, we're just starting the climb. Okay, slowing down a little bit. I'm not full throttle though, not full throttle. 22, I'm gonna go ahead and go full throttle, see what happens. Okay, we are accelerating, but not a lot. We're just kind of holding steady at 23, which tells me the motor is maxed out at 1,000 watts. But that's only one motor. Let's go to dual motor mode. Okay, there's dual motor. We're accelerating a little bit. Not a lot though. Here we go. Whoa, now it's kicking in. Now it's kicking. Whoa, 25, 27. Okay, that's good, buddy. Put it back down to single motor, and we're almost at the top of the bridge. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful view too. You guys see that? So, climbing the bridge was pretty easy on the bike. Now I should point out, I'm not that heavy. I'm about 160 pounds, probably with this backpack and everything, maybe 170. But it was no problem, that was easy. Wow, honestly, that's been a fun ride. We're already at the north part of the city. There's our bike. We're gonna take a look at it closer right now. Here we are, the Philiam FX1 moped, I'm gonna call it. Let's just start at the front. So we have a headlight. You can turn it on right up here. Oh, excuse me, right here. Headlight, doesn't look like much now, but I actually did ride it at night and it is pretty bright. One nice thing about the bike too is it does have a tail light. So when the headlight's on, that's on all the time. And no matter what, when you hit the brakes, it comes on. Really nice feature that it has, especially the rear light. So you have a front and rear light, no blinker, I should point out though. It's not a street bike per se. Going up to the controls, here's the computer. It's like the size of a Garmin or something. It's not a super big computer. You have the throttle right here. I'm not going to turn it because I don't want the bike to jump away from me. I guess I can turn it off. There we go. Switch the bike off. There's your throttle. Here's your gear shifter. And you probably won't use that much because this is the type of bike that you don't really pedal that much. But I will say, at first I thought the pedals were a gimmick. I've changed my mind on that. There's two good reasons for the pedals. Number one is it is kind of nice to give the bike a little boost, especially if you didn't go into dual motor mode and you're just on one motor. Just coming off the line, just to give the motor a little help, I don't mind putting a couple pedals in, and I found the fourth gear is about the right one, and I just leave it in there all the time. So sometimes when I'm taking off from a start and I want to go a little faster, I'll just pedal once or twice, and then I'll stop pedaling and just use the throttle from then on out. And the other reason for the pedals that's good is I haven't had it happen yet, but I was pretty close one time to running out of battery. So if you run out of battery, you'll be happy to have pedals at least to get, you know, a little bit of distance. You don't want to just be pushing this thing. So first I thought the pedals were a gimmick, but I've changed my mind on that, and I'm pretty cool with the pedals. I wouldn't take them off. All right, up here on the front is more of the controls for the computer. Let me switch it back on so we can take a look at the computer real quick. Yeah, so you turn the bike on like that. Does a little dance. So I've only been ever 31.8 miles on this bike. You can do a lot with the controls. I'm not going to go into all that now. It's nothing too special. But one thing I wanted to mention is the brakes. Now, since I got this, I've been like looking at different e-bike brakes, and I'm shocked how bad some of the e-bike brakes are, even big e-bikes like this. But this one has the Dizond, or however you say it, brakes, which I actually reviewed on my other e-bike, which are excellent. These are hydraulic disc brakes, 4-piston, and even with this big bike, it stops great, amazingly. It's perfect. Even with this big bike, I often just stop with one finger on the brakes. I mean, these are 10 out of 10 on the brakes. Love it. You have a horn too. I think it's a little too loud. I kind of wish it was quieter, but maybe that's good for cars. What I would do, and what I might do, is put a bike bell on the front so I can ding at pedestrians and not scare them with this loud horn. You have some heavy duty suspension here, but they are of course going to just be coil springs, not air or anything like that. They do have a lot of adjustment though. They have compression and dampening, or preload and compression, and I have loosened those up. They were a bit too tight from the factory. Maybe that's because I'm pretty small, but yeah, I loosened those up a little bit. Here's the battery itself. Nothing really to look at there, just an on-off switch, charging port. This is a full suspension bike, so that's one thing. It's an interesting frame design. So that's what, you know, traditionally would be the front triangle. Then that's your rear triangle, although it's not much of a triangle. There's your shock, and then your pivot down there. I don't see any adjustability on this. This seems to be fixed. And I will say, it's kind of stiff. It's full suspension, has big 4-inch tires, but I wouldn't say that this is an off-road vehicle, really. I mean, yes, you can go on some gentle trails, but I went on a rougher trail once and it was too rough. It's just bouncing around too much and it's too stiff, you know? So I would say this is for like better for the street and like light trails, like, you know, nothing too crazy though. But yeah, the tires, they are 4-inch wide. These are big tires. And here's the rear transmission. Really not much to it. It's a 7-speed. Once you find the gear that you want to be in, you'll probably just leave it there. Single ring in the front, nothing special there. One thing you may notice though is the saddle. And it's definitely different than your average bicycle saddle because it's more like a motorcycle saddle, and that's fine and comfortable, but it's not comfortable for pedaling. Your thighs will kind of like rub here, and most of all, you can't adjust the height of it. So it's not at a good pedaling height. But I will say one thing, this is a pretty big bike. I'm 5'7", 170 centimeters, and look at my feet. My heels aren't even totally on the ground. I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine for me. Perfect, really. But if you are much smaller, if you're like 5'5" and under, it might be a bit big. So that's just one thing to look out for. Yeah, but that's the bike. It's a cool looking bike. I think it looks really good, kind of that classic motorcycle look. As for the motor and some stuff, that's kind of the big thing. So this has a 1000 watt motor up front and a 1000 watt motor in the back. So that's dual motors, again, controlled by this switch right here and powered by this big battery. Now this battery is a 52 volt. So this is putting out 52 volts, and that's a lot. Most e-bikes are going to be 36, maybe 48. 52 isn't that common. It's the big boy, you know. Some of the modded people in the modding community will go higher, 72 and up, but for like a factory bike, 52 is pretty high, and that's basically how much power it's going to be able to deliver to the motors. And the capacity, it's a 23 amp hour, which I think is very good for this power. Just for reference, my other e-bike is a 7.2 amp hour, and this one's 23, so it's a lot more, but it needs to be a lot more because it's a much bigger bike. The range, and here's the computer, by the way. I should mention the computer's up under here. It does say this is, I think, IP54 rated, so I don't know what that means exactly, but basically you don't want to ride this in a downpour. You definitely don't want to ride it through puddles or like any big puddles, because you don't want water getting up into that computer. And I can even see from here there's some gaps, so you don't want that to get wet. Yeah, but anyway, I think the rated distance I read was 30 to 90 miles. I've rode it a couple times. Like I want to say I was right around 30 miles, and I was getting really low. I think I was down to the last bar, but that's also because I was like going top speed. I was just, you know, hammering it around, playing around. So I definitely killed the battery quicker than you normally would. Oh, and I know you'll save batteries and use less if you just use one motor versus two. And it greatly depends on how fast you go. If you're sitting there going 35 miles an hour all the time, you're gonna burn through the batteries way faster than if you're cruising around at 20, like I'm doing today. I'm just in the cruising mood today. So man, what a beautiful bike. I love it. All right, let's get this adventure going. We're gonna go back up the bridge, and then we're going to, I don't know, we'll just head west, heading west. We'll just head west and just see where we go from there. Maybe I'll make a big triangle of the city, because, well, before it said 4 bars, now it says 5 again, but we haven't even really dug into the battery that much, and I feel like we need to do a little bit more than this. So we're gonna go back over the bridge, head west, and I don't know, have an adventure, have a journey. I said this isn't really for off-roading. I should mention that it has no trouble with curbs. Let's try this one right here. Easy, easy, easy. Let's do it again. Let's go down one. No problem. Back up one. Don't want to go too fast. No problem. That's thanks to these big fat tires. All right, now let's try the bridge this way, which is steeper. All right, I just switched it to dual motor mode, and we're ripping up here. view. Look at that. Can you see that? I hope you can. Well, we made it up that side of the bridge, no problem. I did switch into dual motor mode. I didn't have to, but I just wanted to. All right, right here we have no bike lane, so I'm just driving like a car. Oh. People not seeing me. This is a good example of when I might put some pedals in. We're only on one motor mode, but just to give it a little boost off the line, I'll pedal a couple rotations.
America's largest injury law firm. I've had the
Morgan and Morgan.
Broken families rebuilt. Every crash, every...
There we go. Full throttle, putting in some pedals. There we go. Yeah. That's the difference between a motorcycle. We're still full throttle, by the way. That's only one motor, but it's still full throttle. So don't tell me this is a motorcycle. We're heading west, right into the sun. We're on Garden Street. That's a nice bike path they made probably 10 years ago or more. Now in the northwest area of the city. I'm losing my voice, so we're gonna... Oh, we gotta get over here. We're gonna stop by McDonald's. All right. Yeah, we're gonna stop by McDonald's. We're gonna try the drive-thru. I've had mixed results with drive-thrus with bicycles.
I do apologize. Are you on a bike?
Yes.
I cannot take your order.
But this is almost a motorcycle, so I think we'll be okay. There is zero bike lane right here, so that's why I'm in the street. But I think it looks like there is one right up here. Here we go. Giving it some pedals, full throttle. Here we go. We're moving. Gonna move over now. There we go. We're good. All right, here we go.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, can I just get a small Coke?
Yeah, anything else?
That's it.
Go for it.
Thank you. Check it out. Even though this bike is 100 pounds, you can track stand it. Look at that. Actually, it's quite good. Quite balanced. How you doing?
Live.
You too. Look at this, all this change on the ground. $1.98 for a small Coke. Thank you. All right, let's take this around the corner. That took absolutely forever. That was probably like 20 minutes in that drive-thru. All right, let's stop here in front of the R&B discount beverages. I should have just stopped in here, get a drink. I almost never ever go to McDonald's, but I don't know, I figured it'd be fun to try the drive-thru. And I almost never drink Coke. It's terrible for you. It's been years since I drank a Coke, probably. Maybe less, but... Wow, that seems sweeter than I remember. Okay. That was kind of a stupid waste of time and a waste of almost $2, but... I can't even drink all this. Ugh. That's not true. The last time I drank a Coke was at a bike race and it was dang good. But yeah, we're gonna get back on the road soon. We need to get home. Look, sun is setting. It is getting late and I'm not even gonna finish this. But yeah, it's restored my voice at least. I just saw a cool back alleyway. We're gonna go through that back alley. Yeah, that looks cool. And then it should go around to that road and we'll head home that way. So it's been a mini adventure, not too bad for after work. The bike has been awesome. I love it. I mean, it's somewhere between a bicycle and a motorcycle. You can go kind of fast. You can get really far distances in short time. All right, here we go, back home. We are at the extreme north end of the city. And we need to go to the south. I could just jump right over that, but I'm gonna be a good guy. Good guy, Greg. I'm gonna use the turn lane and everything like I'm supposed to. Here we go. go. And in here, we're gonna take the back alley. That's an adventure, that's a journey. We're going behind all these stores. Ooh, it's getting chilly. It's getting chilly out a little bit. Yeah, this is fun. This bike handles super good. That's another thing. With these big tires and its heavy weight, handles really good. Brakes really good too. Whoa. All right, where are we now? Oh, I know where we are. This thing handles good, stops good. It's a blast. Student driver, no problem. You're doing good. We're gonna turn here with you. Here we go. We're gonna give it some full throttle. We're gonna probably get off this road. We are gonna get on the sidewalk just to stay out of the traffic. Here we go. Whoa! All right, now we're safe. And we can slow down a little bit. Typical Florida for you. You have these sidewalks that just go to nowhere. They just dead end. No problem, no problem. I'm gonna go on this little lane here. It's getting cold though. It's getting dark, it's getting cold. Now I need to stop anyway because my helmet is like too loose. So I'm gonna use that opportunity to demo this thing's stopping power. All right, we're gonna go 20 miles an hour. It's gonna go to 0, right? Right at this power pole. Whoa! All right, there you go. We locked it up a little bit, but from that pole there to where we are now, 20 miles an hour to 0. And I can just tell you, just by feel, this thing stops super strong. Whew. All right, let's get home. I am getting cold. We're down to 3 bars now. We're back in the center of the city, the central part. We're not gonna have any trouble getting home, I don't think. Yeah, I think that 90 miles and all those really high numbers that you see in the advertisement for these bikes, that's really theoretical. That's if you're going very slow and, we're on a really narrow sidewalk now. That's if you're going very slow and you're helping it with your pedaling, but realistically, everyone's gonna be going over 25 miles an hour on this bike and no one's gonna be pedaling much. So I think realistically, when it says like 30 to 90, you're probably gonna be on the lower end, but still 30, 40 miles an hour, or 30 to 40 miles of distance, that's pretty far. Maybe I should jump on the main road. It looks like there's a shoulder. I feel kind of weird with this big bike on a sidewalk, you know? There we go. All right, now we're back in the residential area, and I think that's kind of where this type of bike does best. You can just kind of zip around town, you know? You're not in anybody's way. Back in the south end of the city. I'm not sure, but I think we've been probably around 20 miles and we're down to 2 bars. Could have, of course, gone ahead, but I don't want to be a total jerk. Don't want to scare anybody. All right, now we're going to do another climbing test with only 2 bars because we're going to be cutting through the Wustoff trail, which is a pretty hilly trail. Then we'll be almost back to where we started. It's getting cold, getting cold. But man, this bike is fun. I don't think I'm getting any exercise, but it's fun. And look, you can really see the headlight now. It's actually pretty good. Well, it's eating those little hills up like nothing. There's some bigger ones coming up. No problem with that hill. That one's pretty small. Here's a bigger one. I don't think we're gonna have any trouble. This is a bigger one, but it feels like we're going good. Oh man, that's nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, I really wish I had a little pedestrian bell here, because I wouldn't want to beat my loud horn at anybody up here. Here's the biggest hill. Let's see how we do. We'll go full throttle with it. Here we go, full throttle, one motor, 20 miles an hour. That's fine. I don't want to go much faster anyway. No problem. I actually got to slow down here for this curve. And here's the top of the hill right up here. So easy. Wow. Okay. That's impressive. So I guess as a final verdict on the review, there's nothing I can say bad about the bike. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It's an e-moped. You can pedal it a little bit in a pinch if you run out of batteries, and you can pedal it to get off the line, but more than likely 99% of the time you're just going to be using the throttle. It's fun, it's got power, you know, the range is what it is. What can you say about it? It stops great, handles great. It does what it's supposed to do. You can't say nothing bad about this bike. I mean, I guess I don't know how long it'll last. That's one thing. You know, I have now 42 miles on the clock, so I don't know nothing about if it's gonna last you 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. You know, batteries do die, controllers burn, motors burn, that stuff happens. So I can't say anything about that, but you know, it's probably pretty standard stuff. Any e-bike is gonna have that same type of deal. E-bikes aren't a cheap thing compared to a normal bike when you consider all that. So you gotta know that. You gotta know these aren't as cheap as your granddad's 10-speed. One thing to note though, there's no storage. Absolutely nowhere to store your stuff. I kind of wish it did come with like something, but I suppose you can add that on. All right, let's see how fast we can go with only 1 bar left. We're down to 1 bar, top speed. Oh, it just like kicks in suddenly. Here we go, still going fast. Woo. All right, we're sitting at 30.